Could this be the ultimate DIY socket and ratchet organizer? It's magnetic, 3D printed, movable, and mounted on French cleats. It's Bob out here in my workshop, and I thought I'd go over these socket organizers that I came up with a couple months ago. I uploaded them to Facebook, and everyone really seemed to like them. So I'm going to go into a little more detail and show you what these are all about. Last year, I started getting my tools and garage organized. I decluttered, finished insulating, added drywall, and also built my French cleat wall. I had a small, random assortment of sockets that I had crewed over the years, but many were missing. I wanted one decent set that would last a long time that I could keep organized. After doing some research, I decided on a Tekton SKT15311 socket set. It's a 3/8 drive set with metric sizes from 6mm to 24mm and SAE sizes from 1/4 inch to 1 inch. There's no skips, and it's one of the most complete sets I've seen. I wanted to mount them magnetically so they're easy to pull off. If you ever tried one of those socket rails, you know what I'm talking about. It's like pulling teeth trying to get a socket off those things. I found a video from YouTuber Woodworker Anonymous where he used some bar magnets to make a custom magnetic holder for his sockets. This is what I wanted. But with my love of 3D printing and the need to practice creating my own models, I wanted to use Fusion 360 to design a version that could be mostly printed out. Each hole would be sized perfectly to fit each socket. What I came up with were 4 banks of sockets split into 2 pieces so they'd fit on my printer. They had a recess in the bottom where 10mm by 60mm by 3mm bar magnets would lie end to end, with 10 magnets going into each bank. But I realized I had a problem. When you're working on a project, you don't always know what socket you need, and it's kind of hard carrying 4 or 5 of them. It would be great if these banks of sockets had a handle and could be pulled off the wall as one unit. So I made the 1/2 inch plywood backing a little taller than the 3D printed portion and cut a handle out with some Forstner bits and a jigsaw. Then came the base for it to mount to. It was made out of 1/2 inch plywood also, and I added a French cleat so I could mount it on the wall. I then added a very strong cut magnet to hold the bank of sockets to it. To keep it aligned, I cut a dado in both the backing and the holder and used a thin piece of plywood as a guide. It took 4 tries to figure out where exactly to put the cut magnet. Too high, and the bank of sockets was nearly impossible to pull off the wall because the cut magnets were just too strong. Too low, and it could easily be nudged off, and the top would even lean out a little bit. My swiveling cleat locks came in perfect for these bases. Once you put the base on the wall and engage the locks, it doesn't even budge when removing a bank of sockets. If you're interested in learning more about my cleat locks, please see my other video. Many organizers have small, hard-to-read labels making it impossible to figure out what socket you're trying to grab. I wanted big, easy-to-read labels. At work, we have a large format vinyl printer where we print stickers, decals, banners, and car wraps. So I designed a set of labels for both the top of each bank and the sides for each column of sockets. When applied, they cover up the screw holes, giving a very clean look. They're bright, big, and super easy to read. With the sockets done, it was now time to turn my attention to the ratchets and extensions. I wanted to continue the theme of using magnets for easy tool removal, so I designed a few different mounts with holes for some small disc magnets. The top and bottom ratchet holders perfectly fit Tekton's quick release and comfort grip ratchets. I created 2 and 4 magnet versions for holding the various sized extensions. Finally, I designed a simple mount for the 1 inch extension and universal joint. Then I printed them out, mounted them to some more 1/2 inch plywood, stuck a French cleat on the back and some of my cleat locks, and this project was complete. I now had exactly what I wanted, wall-mounted organizers with big labels where I could pull a single socket off the wall or a whole bank. So far, these organizers have been really handy and useful. I've been restoring my dad's old Craftsman table saw at work on my lunch breaks, so I just grab a ratchet and a bank of sockets with me in the morning, and I have the whole set right there while I'm working. All the files for these are linked in the description below, and they're available on printables.com for free download. I've even linked to the magnets I've used, and also is the label file in case you wanted to print out some of these labels for yourself as well. So if you happen to have this Tekton socket set, I'd love for you to give this a try. I hope it'll be as handy for you as it is for me. Thanks for watching.